Laura, let's start off with the obvious topic of discussion, which is Track's injury from the game on Friday night. He has a minor hairline fracture. The talk has been the discussion of whether or not he's ready to return for this week's game. Do you mind talking us through that decision to have him train and be ready for that game?
Yeah, definitely. So you all would have seen Track was kicked in the back of the knee during the game, and what actually happened was his tib fib joint, which is where his fibula meets his knee, actually had a bit of an instability event. So essentially a sprain of that joint, and a little fleck of bone ended up chipping off that hairline fracture you're referring to at that tib fib joint level. So really we can treat this like a sprain. The harder bit of the injury was that he had a big kick to his calf, which resulted in a corky essentially, and that was actually bothering him more, and we were a little bit more worried about that with the swelling. So thankfully he's really settled down, he's done everything right. We've discussed his injury with a specialist, and they're really happy that this injury is stable and that he's safe to get out there and play. So today was really about getting him out training, making sure that he's functional, that he's able to run around, that he's comfortable, and he's really proven that today. So at this stage he's looking really good to get up for captain's run on Thursday and then play on Friday.
That is great news. And then talking about injuries from Friday night, Fritter was out of the warm-up due to a bit of knee soreness. Goodwin spoke post-match about how he managed through the game. How has he managed through training this week?
He was really great today. He also underwent scans, just a little bit of knee soreness, a little bit of swelling, but has got through nearly full training today, and we're really confident that he'll be okay later in the week. Nothing that we're particularly worried about with him.
And then we saw JJ last week had surgery on his foot. How is he tracking post-surgery?
He's been exceptional. He had plates put in for a metatarsal fracture last week. He's out of the boot today. You'll see the surgeon tomorrow to check his wound, but walking around pain-free today. He's had a really great recovery so far.
And then also Spargo, he had a hit to the throat as well. How's he going? What's his training looking like this week?
Yeah, so Spargo had that heavy knock in the game. Thankfully, scans have cleared him of any fractures in his airway, but he does have some good going bruising around his vocal cords. So that's something we worry about and we like to keep a really close eye on. He's been seeing the specialist every 2 days, a camera down his throat to make sure that swelling's improving, which it definitely is. So today was really precautionary, looking after him early this week so that we can get him going later in the week and aim to have him available for Friday.
A few knocks from Friday's game. Clary also had a hit to the face. What's his schedule like this week?
Yeah, it was a busy night for the medicos, I can tell you. He had a couple of cuts to his face that needs some stitches. He did undergo a scan to make sure there was no fractures underlying that, and thankfully that has cleared him of that. So really it's just now about making sure those wounds healed well, and as you saw, he trained well today, so probably no issues from that end.
And just lastly, Andy's been working through rehab of a groin injury. Where's he at in that rehab program?
Yeah, great. So he's at the tail end actually, and he's looking like he'll be available to play one more training session and then available to play for the VFL final on Saturday, which is great news.